Yo, what's up? I am back at my desk finally, so recording videos should be a little bit easier going forward. And as such, today I want to talk about copy effects. Now, to start off with, Gamamon is not the only deck that has access to copy effects, just in case anyone new is coming to see this. But I do think it's the best example of how copy effects work and little nuances that you have access to when attempting to utilize them. So to start off, we're going to have a 5 card hand. We're going to have a Canawise, Hero, Sirius, another Hero, and Arcturus. And in a raising, we're going to have the RB1 Gurimon, a BT8 Gamamon, which has digivolved into a BT21 Betel Gamamon. So move this out. We have 3 memory. And I want to resolve the Gamamon draw effect a couple times. And we can do that. So first up, we will Digivolve into Canonwise for 3, and we will draw 1 for Digivolution. I'll just leave it here because it doesn't matter for our purposes. Now, Canonwise has this all turns effect, and the way these copy effects work is they give you a new instance of any effects they're referring to. So for us, we get an option to play the Tamer, and then if we do play a red Tamer, we get to draw a card. So we can play down one of the heroes for free, draw a card. Now, because digivolving will change where the source of the copy effect is coming from, we get a new instance of it. So if we digivolve Sirius for 3, we draw for Digivolution, and then Sirius once again lets us play a Tamer, and if we play a Tamer, we can draw a card. Now, on top of that, Sirius has an effect that will let us shove the Arcturus in our hand into sources, which will trigger the Gurimon inheritable and let us draw a 5th card. This is part of how I would get a lot of card advantage when I was playing Gamamon, over a year ago. I remember a friend of mine who was also very interested in the deck didn't realize that the copy effects worked like this. He thought that it was just like a static thing that held over. I'm not really sure how best to explain what he said because I don't remember his specific wording, but basically he thought that if you copied an effect with Canalwise, that these two were just one instance, right? Like I said, I didn't know how to explain it, and then I just said it, I guess. But yeah. Now we're gonna do another example. This one is gonna be a decent bit different. The setup this time is gonna use the Elam Gammon. And as such, we are going to have a couple of cards in our trash because it's necessary for how its effect works. So we're going to put these in the trash. We're going to give ourselves 3 memory. Our hand is going to be any 2 copy effect level 5s. Regulus Ace. And any Gamamon level 3 or 4. And then on board, we're going to have any Gamamon body plus 2 Bokomon. Right, so we move up. Right, and here I think I should actually explain Bokomon. So Bokomon is actually a Domaimon effect. The English translation of this card is incorrect, or at least it doesn't really explain what it does. So if your opponent were to use something like Omnimon X to try to remove a bunch of stuff off your board all at once, Bokomon could delete itself to protect all of your other Digimon with Gamamon in its text aside from Bokomon. So having 2 Bokomon in that instance, both of them could be potentially removed, but one of them could protect your other, level 3s or whatever. So we would want to swing out the Gamamon, preferably at an opponent's body, because it would be deleted by that battle. When it would be deleted by that battle, we can instead delete Boko by effect to protect it. since Boko was deleted by an effect, the Gamamon triggers, allowing us to digivolve into the BT21 Gulas for free. So again, we draw for Digivolution, its effect activates, and we can shove something. So what you go into is going to be dependent on the circumstance, but I will go with the RB1 Gulas because we can do something pretty nice with Sirius. So thanks to shoving a card, we draw one off of the Gurimon Inheritable. And then we can go up into Counterwise. So we draw for Digivolution, and Counterwise can once again use the Gulas effect if we really want to. But more importantly, we get another instance of the LM Gamamon effect. So let's say we swing Counterwise at a big body, or it just would incidentally die to security. We can once again protect with Pokemon. Because a Digimon was deleted by effect, we can Digivolve into one of our Gamamon and its text level 6s in the trash. I would want to go with Arcturus. And we get to do that for free. So, draw for Digivolution, you get to activate Arcturus effect. And, well, that's if you want to, right? So, you could place Pokemon if you really wanted to, but you get to delete something, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sources, so we could delete level 6. And then, because it digivolved before end of attack timing, you can now make use of this Gulas Gamamon effect. You can pop it to delete something on your opponent's board with less DP. We currently have at least 15. We could have a little bit more, potentially, thanks to the Candlewise, right? And then we get to resolve the Gulas on deletion, which could play out the Gamamon, which will let us top 3. And hey, we get to add 2. Then we can play out the hero that we got. And Arcturus on deletion activates, which would let us bring Sirius back to our hand. And we could pitch it if we had Proxima in hand to play it, but because Proxima is in trash, we can't do that. Right? But yeah. There's a lot of little things to be mindful of with these copy effects, and I think it's one of the reasons that Gamamon is probably a decent bit better than it might seem on paper, but it's also very taxing is not the word. It's very like micromanagement heavy when you're piloting. It can get a bit involved when you're trying to pilot it is all. Like you do have a lot of like relatively straightforward things you can do. You have a lot of simple and effective lines you can go for. But Gamamon absolutely is something that heavily rewards you for knowing these little nuances. Now, if we talk about other cards, we have Machine Dramon, right? Chaos Dramon copies the effect of any Machine Dramon and its sources when you would Digivolve into it, so you can trigger any of their when Digivolving effects if they have any. So, Digivolving Chaos Dramon on top of the BT11 Machine Dramon would let you resolve that effect again. And then, if you go into Chaos Dramon X on top of it, you can do this once again. I don't even know why I'm talking about this in the abstract when I literally have the cards here. Let's say this thing survives a turn. It's just sitting on your board. Let's toss the security to the side. And your opponent gave you 2 memory. Draw for turn, whatever. You can Digivolve into Chaos Dramon for 1. Chaos Dramon would first be able to reveal top 5. I mean, you could do this in whatever order you really want to. But 3, 4, 5. And you can add one card with Cyborg or Machinist traits to your hand, or place it under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card, trash the rest. So you could, if you really wanted to, show the Machinedramon, even though it doesn't have any on-play effects, because you do get to copy the protection, right? You can't be DP minus. These get trashed. Then Chaosdramon's effect activates. You may place up to 3 red or black level 5 cards with a cyborg and their traits with different card numbers from your hand or trash under it to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon for each card placed. So, as it would so happen, we have just one. Still pretty useful, right? Get to devolve one, and that's all cool. Then you get to devolve into this for 2. Drawing for Digivolution, and its effect would once again activate. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say you want to add this and you trash the rest. Chaosdramon triggers. The only thing you can really add would be this from your hand. So you get to digivolve something one time again. And now you have, stacked layers of protection to some degree. I feel like copy effects are relatively straightforward overall. Is just Gamamon is the sole instance where you have the goofy addition of just being able to use the copy effects a second time, regardless of what level 6 you go into, because the inheritable is what's going to be providing you the effect. You don't need a specifically named thing, as in the case of Chaos Dramon, where you need to be digivolving on a Machine Dramon, or Chaos Dramon with this guy, or a Machine Dramon with this guy.